Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Mile High Beach here. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Pleshette. And this is Charlie. I don't know if he's going to sit up through the video or not. I think he's trying to lay down, so we'll see how long he hangs with us.
Yeah, he's a senior citizen. He likes his naps in the afternoon.
He likes his naps all day.
Well, there's that, yes. Yeah. Well, hey, welcome back. Today we're doing an update on a video that we did before. This is part of our Big Rig Friendly Campground Review series. We did a campground review on the Del Mar Fairground. We will put a link to that or a card at the end of the video so that you can go directly to that. But this is an update.
Yeah, this is an update to a place that, like Alicia said, we have already stayed at before, but we had some things that were changed the next time we stayed here.
Yeah.
Or not really changed, but some things that we observed that we wanted to share. So we wanted to do a quick update, so that you guys that are interested in these big rig reviews have all the full details.
Yeah, and so we won't go through the whole list because the first time in the first video we went through our entire list. This time we're just going to give a couple of updates. So this time around, the reason we're here is because, well, we came into San Diego in December, and we had a time that we were going to stay here, and part of that was to go to do doctor's visits. This is home base for us. So to do doctor's visits, vet visits, dentist visits, get the truck looked at, whatever else we needed to have done.
Yeah, because we ended up having to have some things done on the truck. We ended up having to have the entire air conditioning system replaced.
Yeah.
And then the front headlamp on the driver's side went out. So we were glad to be home, though, in our home base to get those things taken care of, and thankfully those things were under warranty. So, thanks to Ford for getting those things taken care of while we were here.
Yeah, for sure. And so we extended that trip because we just had to deal with our storage. We'll put a before and after picture up here, but we just had to do something with that storage. We've been paying for, we sold our house in 2020. We got rid of or sold or donated about 75% of it, and 25% of it, we put in a storage, and it just is no longer practical to continue to pay for that. So we just really had to tackle that. And so it was great that the Del Mar Fairground was available during this time. There was an event that came in, and that's partly why we're doing this update, is because even though we came here and it was similar to last time, it was a little bit different because a big event came in and we got moved to a different space. So the things that we're going to talk about in terms of updates. So you want to say anything else about?
No, I think that was good. I mean, we really just want to go through just a few of the things that we noted were somewhat different or changed that we wanted to share from the first time we were here.
Okay, yeah. So this, so the guy that is the on-site RV manager, we were in the other spot or the other area, and he tells us, hey, you know what? You can stay here until this date. There's a big event coming in town, and you have the option of staying here, but you're going to be jammed in with all these other people. Or you can move to this other spot. So we're like, hey, we'll take this other spot, and you drove over there with him.
Yeah, when he came by and he told us, and I can't remember, he might have told us when we first booked. I think he mentioned there was an event coming.
Oh, okay.
I think he had mentioned that, but we didn't really know the details at the time. And the way the fairgrounds are, we didn't know this the first time, they're kind of broken up in two areas. There's the original place that we stayed in the first video, and then there's this other side that's kind of just directly, basically there's a parking lot that separates it, and you're on this other side. And so he was moving the folks that were on that original side to this other side because there was an event coming in, and it was going to take up all of those RV spaces over there.
Yeah. And what we really liked about the first time that we were here is that we were pretty far away from our neighbor, like a spot and a half or 2.5 spots away, and that was just not going to be the case with this event coming in. So we moved up to this other area, and here are the things that were different in our observation. So the hookups. It's a similar setup in that there's a wall of hookups, water, power, and sewer, still 30 amp service. And you have to back into those spots. The thing that was a little different that we noticed this time around is well, we have a surge protector. You just want to make sure you have a surge protector.
Definitely want to make sure you have a surge protector, no matter where you go.
No matter where you go, but these campgrounds,
for here,
you better have a surge protector, because we plugged into like 2 or 3 plugs, and some of them worked. Some of them were throwing errors on the surge protector. You're not getting ready to plug your, however much you spent for your camper, into some raggedy plug.
And we had said this in the first video, and again we'll repeat this, that they have 30 amp and 50 amp service. Well, excuse me, they have 30 amp service here. And so on this new side where we moved to, it's the same situation. They still have the 30 amp service. However, these, I don't know, I'll just say that it's not the newest setup, right? It's the Fairgrounds. I don't actually know how long the Fairgrounds have been here, but it does look like some of the plugs have been here since day one, perhaps. So again, surge protector, very important.
Yes.
And this might be normal across the Fairgrounds across the country. So I'm not saying this is necessarily unique,
good or bad, yeah.
Or good or bad. I'm just saying it's something to be aware of.
Yeah.
And so, like Alicia was saying, we plugged into. I think we ended up in 3 different outlets along this fence behind where we're parked. And it just, I don't know. We weren't running anything that should have been causing any kind of, sparks, or no, I shouldn't say sparks, because there weren't any sparks. There really was no fires.
And no flames.
No, there were no flames. But there shouldn't have been anything that caused any, I would say, arcs, I guess, in the electricity.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, we were having to move around because we were losing the power in the RV.
Yeah.
And we have a dog bone that converts the 50 to a 30. So we have the right stuff. We're not running ACs. It's not that time of year, so we don't need that. We're not running microwaves and space heaters and everything all at the same time. We're really being conscious of trying to utilize appliances accordingly. But for whatever reason, we've been having some challenges with the 30 amp.
Yeah. And we didn't move the rig around, but we had to move the electrical around. And the thing that was crazy is that it wouldn't even trip the breaker. It just turned off the power. And so you'd go out and you'd look in the breaker box, and none of the breakers are tripped. None of the breakers are tripped in your rig, but then there's just no power. So again, making sure that if you're going to, a campground, any campground, but particularly for these, county fairground locations, that you have a surge protector. The next thing is the concrete and gravel. Where we were before when we first came here the first time around, and then when we first got here this time around, where it is there's a gravel part or asphalt part that you're parked on, and then across from that is a kind of a dirt lot where you park your car. And where we are now, it's all asphalt, which is very nice.
It's nice.
Yeah, very nice. You're not
having
tracking in the dirt.
There's no mud. There's no, it's been it's been windy here the last couple of days, so we don't really have a lot of dirt blowing around because we are really on an asphalt, or paved surface. The complete area is paved.
Yeah.
So that's been nice.
Yeah, that's been really nice. The next thing is lot spacing, and we mentioned that before. We had the option to move, and so because of the dog show and the fact that they had them all packed in over there, we had a chance to move up to this area that faces it's next to the grandstand and faces the racetrack. So we were able to maintain lot spacing like we had the last time around. So it was, it's comfortable. We have actually we're on the end, which is really nice too.
Because I'll just say one thing: when the folks that came in for the dog show came in, the spacing they were packed. They were right next to each other. It seemed like slides were right next to slides.
Oh,
It was really tight down there, and
very
it was
tight.
It was just a 3-day dog show. They were only here really for the weekend, but we were just glad to be moved up here to this section because it was really tight down there.
Yeah, way tighter than we would be used to. The next thing is Wi-Fi. In the first video, when we did this review, we said that there was no campground Wi-Fi. And that might have been the case at the time, or maybe it was and we just didn't know about it. I'm not even sure how we found out about it this time. How did you?
I just happened to see, I just saw something that looked like it was open. It had Fair in the name. So, had SD Fair, so I kind of thought,
sounds good to me.
Maybe that's it. So, I just thought I'd try it, and it seems to be the Wi-Fi for the Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
So we've been using it a little bit.
Yeah, I used it the other day, and it was screaming. I was like, wow, I'm not even used to Wi-Fi this fast.
It's actually been working well. We have and we'll do a separate video on it, but we've got a PepWave solution for our RV internet. And so it allows us to use Wi-Fi as WAN as one of the options. So that's what I did, is I just set that up on the PepWave, so we were able to still utilize that along with our cellular carriers.
Yeah, yeah. The next thing is management. The RV manager lives on site here, and he's very responsive. The security is great here. You know, you don't have RV services here because, again, this is a parking lot, so it's not like you've got like people driving through and, you know, RV techs and all this other stuff. But if you needed to have something like that happen, like if you needed an RV tech to come up in here, I don't think that would be a problem at all. You just let the security guys know, you let the RV manager know. They wouldn't have a problem at all, including wash services, including, you know, RV tech services. There's probably no problem with any of that.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to really talk to the manager.
Yeah.
And then just let security pretty much know that somebody's coming. I mean, as far as having visitors, they don't really care as long as they have an awareness.
Yep. They just want to know.
So I don't think that'd be any different for any of these other, you know, potential services you might want.
Yeah. And, you know, the funny thing about the security, and I just want to mention this here, is that we've been in other places where there's been security, but there's a different feeling about it. You know, here you see the guy riding around in the security truck or the security golf cart, and you just know that they're there, and there's a feeling of that they have a command of the security, plus the fact that you can't get in that gate over there unless you have your name or you've got the placard hanging from your car. Mm-hmm. So they're pretty serious about that security. And when the dog show came in, it seemed like that level of security even came up.
Yeah.
You know, but there, you know, because we were in a campground in Colorado, and 5-0 would ride through there every day, and I'd be like, what is going on here that 5-0 needs to ride though?
5-0, for those that don't know, that's the police.
Oh dear. Well, it was kind of a weird feeling to have the police riding through the thing. I mean, we had never had that before. So anyway, I just wanted to say that there's high security here, but it doesn't feel like, you know, like this, like something's wrong type of security.
Yeah, it was a little alarming seeing the police at that other place, because we were kind of like, what's going on? Is there something happening?
Right.
So it doesn't feel like that. You just feel like, you know, the security guys are just driving around. They're driving around either in trucks or golf carts, and you know, they're just keeping an eye on things.
Yeah, and I do appreciate. The next thing is groceries. We mentioned in the first video a couple of the options that are close by, but I just want to add a few others because we've used these since we've been here. There's a close by Jimbo's, there's a close by Whole Foods, several Vaughn's Markets, so you're not very far from any of those types of grocery services when you're here.
And there's, just on that note as well, as far as food and groceries, there are a ton of restaurants around here.
Yes.
A ton.
Yes.
I mean, from all types of cuisine, burgers, you know, sushi, Italian. Yeah. There's just a lot of options for, you know, if you like to cook yourself or if you want to go out and pick it up.
That's for sure.
Or eat out. There's a lot of options.
Lots of options. And you can walk over to that little Viewpoint brewery over there, which is right across the street. We've got some photos we'll put of that because we met some friends there. The next one is propane services. There's no services, again, on this property for things like propane, but there is a Shell gas station that's right next to the Denny's, which is just outside of the area here and right next to the freeway entrance. And then there's another one that's just down the road here. So you can find propane services very close by. Let's see. So a couple special moments. We had, again, special moments while we were in town. We were here, again, for all the doctor's visits, and we tried to see as many folks as we could see while we were here. And then while we were here at the Del Mar Fairground, we did go to the Viewpoint Brewery again and met some friends there. We had some friends come over to the rig. New friend Camille and my bestie Kim, she came and we opened up the new grill and spent some time, you know, right out here in our spot, just checking that out. And
so we'll do a video on the new grill.
Oh yeah, we are definitely doing a video on the new grill. I'm still trying to figure out how to cook with charcoal, but yes, we will do a video on the new grill.
Get a couple more grills on that one before we do a video on it. But keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. So, and we'll just put pictures up of, you know, all the folks that we had a chance to spend some time with, and whether it was nearby in the area or whether it was at here at the rig. We had some really great special moments while we were here. So, anything else on this update for Del Mar?
No, just again, if you've stayed at Fairgrounds, if you stayed at this fairground, or if you've stayed at any fairgrounds across the country, let us know. What's your experience been? You know, do you like them? You know, we're just curious because I think we mentioned this in our first one. We're going to be staying in the one in Tucson here in another couple of weeks for the FMCA conference.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking forward to seeing how that one is kind of organized and set up. I mean, that's going to be a much bigger conference, a much bigger event.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of, I think, manage all the RVs. But you know, if you've stayed at the fairgrounds, let us know, because we'd like to start keeping a list of them.
Yeah.
Because they're definitely great options. You know, either shorter term or even longer term stays. You know, if it's more than just a couple of days or a week, they're great options.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? You just can't beat this one. You know, again, it's a parking lot. You know, you saw the photos in the first video, prison in the front, party in the back. Or wait, party in the front, prison in the back. That's what it was. But I'll tell you what. This is still a thumbs up, wouldn't you say so?
Oh yeah, this is absolutely a thumbs up.
Totally.
I mean, we still love this park, and
yeah,
I think even being over here, Charlie likes this side even better.
He does.
Because there's not that many people over here now, and once the dog show left, it really emptied out. So there's really only 4 or 5 RVs up here.
I think it is. Yeah, it's really quiet.
So it's quiet, and I can even let him off leash a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not a dog park per se, but there's nobody really around. So in the afternoon when I usually take him out for his walk, I can let him off leash, and he opens it up a little bit. He enjoys running around and sniffing. There's a couple areas that he can sniff and, you know, explore a little bit. So
you would give it a paw up?
He's like, yes.
Yes.
He's like, yes, I would give it a paw up.
Give it a paw up? Yeah. You like it here, don't you? Yeah, good boy. Well, good. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us for this update. You know, there were just a few things that we noticed about this time around that we wanted to add because, you know, when you come to these kinds of places like these fairgrounds and they're so different from the regular campgrounds, you know, there's just something to know. So thank you for hanging out. If you like this video, if you learned anything, if you got a chuckle out of it, please give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe. We sure enjoy having you hanging out with us.
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah.
So until next time.
Yep. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.